find. I'm quite sure quite a lot of our regular viewers are wondering about the hyena den. Unfortunately, it is not active at the moment. Someone has already checked this morning. No update there. So at the moment, we're just going to drive around very slowly, see if we can find tracks. We've got a pile of buffalo to start off with. This is a group of buffalo bulls. Actually, hang on, is that a cow at the back there? Can't be. Let's reverse a second. Quite strange, but not completely unusual to find a single cow. It's a young boy. In these bachelor groups. There's quite a nice, impressive buffalo standing up, the one on the closest to us. You can see that very distinct boss. Oh, look at the flies. Oh, and you have the oxpeckers waking up and coming to look for the buffalo. Like, you can hear them all chirping. Oh, and there we go. One landed. I'm having a snooze. There we go. Breakfast for the oxpeckers. So these bachelor groups, sometimes you do have younger bulls in them, but they're generally comprised of older bulls that are past prime that move away from the breeding herds, where there's a lot of commotion and noise and they move a lot. So they generally move into thicker areas around drainage lines and dams and water sources, where they can become quite sedimentary and they don't move very far. It's sort of a retirement for buffalo bulls. And the reason they are sometimes in small groups is a safety thing for them. It's much easier for them to chase off a lion as a group of bulls than as a single buffalo. So those of you wondering about the weather this morning, it's about 18 degrees Celsius, which I think according to Andrew was 60 odd degrees Fahrenheit. So for us out here, that's quite cold. I know for most of our viewers, that'll be a nice, pleasant, warm day. But as we're used to the heat, it is a bit chilly this morning. You can see we've got quite an overcast sky, but it does look like it might break up as the day goes on. I can see a little bit of blue sky coming through the clouds. And we're gonna toodle on. Let the old gentleman wake up sedately. They generally won't move too far in the areas they choose to stay in. Actually, there might be a little jostling and stay for a little bit longer. The areas they choose generally have water and decent graze close by, and because they're not in a big herd, they don't completely finish the graze quickly, so they don't have to move too far. This guy's got a little wound. A little wound on to the right of his eye. It's amazing, those flies. Almost makes it look like the horn is alive. You know, I get irritated by a few flies. Imagine how these poor guys must feel with that amount of flies. And they do bite, especially the ears of the buffalo. These are red-billed oxpeckers. So you see, that's quite interesting. Now, those two to the right are juveniles. You see they haven't got their color. And they're actually, that noise we heard there is them begging. So even though that they are completely mobile and fly around with the adults now, they will still beg from the adults. And he goes going right inside the ear to get those ticks. Although the oxpeckers do perform quite a valuable role to a lot of animals, when animals do have a wound, they can actually be quite a pain, because not only do they eat ticks, but they will open up wounds and feed off a little bit of meat. Here's a juvenile red-billed oxpecker. Buffalo always looks at you like you owe him money down his nose. You can see how they're on the neck in the old animal, that the skin's coming off, and then you have a look close at the ear, you can actually see little groups of ticks. He's actually got quite a lot of ticks in his ear. Nice group of boys. Oh, let's come up onto this one in the front on its sort of just above its ankles, its knees. It's quite swollen on both of them. Difficult to say what that's from, but definitely will cause a little bit of discomfort and pain for that bull. Yeah, well, we'll leave the buffaloes before they depart too many flies onto us. Unfortunately, it's being a bit cool. Flies haven't seemed to have noticed us just yet, so we're going to move along. You'll notice me look down towards the road quite frequently. What I'm doing is I'm looking for tracks, specifically of your predators, normally lion, leopard, cheetah, and wild dog. And what that does is it gives us a direction that we can start looking for these animals. We're going to head down towards the Twin Dams area, which is quite a favorite area for lion and leopard in the last little while. like to know, why is a buffalo's hooves split? Well, you know, same as cattle or sheep or goats, that split hoof. I'm guessing, I haven't really studied that too much, but it would probably be to help with weight displacement on the hoofs, and that's just to get. What I will do is I will have a look. In my big book a little later. Good morning, Ryan. No updates for you till yet. I think Aubrey was checking Aubrey was checking Nisika. Our last Nisika that was active was Philemon's Cup. Lex coming. Lex, what do you think the odds are of those animals crossing south? Thanks very much. If they do get close, I'd like to be kept informed, please. Thank you. Oh, it's an Inyala and some more buffalo. Nice and yellow bull. We might say, there you go, he's just going to do it. Oh, sorry, Vam. And so he's putting his horns into the mud. It's quite nice behavior there. So what he's doing is he's putting horns on his face or mud on his face and on his horns. So if he gets an argument with another male Inyala, he looks more impressive. You'll see quite a few different species do that. The Nyala aren't the only ones. Wildebeest do it from time to time. Bushbuck. We've even seen kudu do it. They are wonderfully pretty with their orange socks. Oh, oxpeck here in tow as well. Got quickly shooed off. So this is the Twin Dams area where we've been having incredible cat sightings for the last while. So always worth having a check for tracks around here. Whoopsie, sorry. Where did you just spit? You just spit on into the drainage. Oh, hopefully we'll see him on our way around up to Molawasi. Good morning, Trent from Fiji. Trent would like to know, do buffaloes target bachelor groups more or breeding herds? There's a little red-billed hornbill. It looked like he had something in his mouth. There we go. Trying to see what it is quickly. It looks like is that a stink bug?
Can't really see.
Looked almost like a shield bug or a stink bug. Couldn't be the most pleasant thing to eat. Sorry, Trent, I'll get to your question in a second. Just want to see what this hornbill's up to. Let's try and move forward maybe a tiny bit. No, he's going to fly even before. Anyway, it looked like it could be a stink bug or possibly it could have even been a katydid, a type of grasshopper. For a stink bug, that must be quite a smelly breakfast. But Trent would like to know whether lions target bachelor groups of buffalo or breeding herds more. Trent, I think it just completely depends on time and place. If they find a bachelor group and they're hungry enough and there's enough of them, they will definitely target a bachelor group. But when it comes to trailing, they generally tend to trail breeding herds. Sorry, 1 second, I'm listening to... Okay. Sorry, so, but they have been known to follow big herds of buffalo with the breeding herds. There's more to be a strangler or one that's slightly injured or not well. And also the fact that there are youngsters, calves and sub-adults in there, which are a bit easier to catch than a big grumpy buffalo bull. But it completely depends on how hungry they are and what's in front of them. That's quite strange, a tiny little bit of drizzle. I don't think it's gonna drizzle too much. What we're going to do now is we're going to drive this dry riverbed or drainage line to quite water out of the dams. We might catch that Inyala bull we saw putting mud on his horns. I think he dropped down into this drainage line. tiny little bits of drizzle. One positive thing on a cool morning like this, the predators might be active longer. Little squirrel. Oop. It's always good to stop and listen every now and then. You possibly can hear alarm calls, or elephants feeding as they move through the bush. So it's always good to just stop and listen quietly for a little bit. Also, can't hear anything just yet, but well. Believe it or not, this is actually something we find quite often on game drives, and it's not what you would be expecting. Someone's hat. Well, this one looks like a little kid's hat that's fallen off the car. So when I get back, I'll get on the radio and see who's missing a hat. You'd be surprised. Hats, sunglasses, even found a camera once. Blankets, jackets. Find lots of strange things while on safari, including bright orange children's hats. What is the update from the west this morning? Copy that very much.
Hello everyone.
Turn over there. Hyena tracks. Danny, what? I checked Twin Dams to Gary Main. I didn't see any Nkonzo, and then I've checked Molowaiti from Gary Main back to Mamba Junction. I was going to head down Mamba towards Drakensberger. Copy, Orbs, would you like me to check somewhere for you? Copy, Orbs, will do. So just got a call from one of the other rangers. He found leopard tracks in this area, and they seem to be heading north and east. So he's walking, trying to check where they go in the block between the roads. And he's asked us, because we're quite close by, to go check the area where we had a big group of buffalo earlier, see if any tracks come out after another road that is heads off to the sort of south, also almost due west from there. So close by, we'll go have a look. And finding animals is quite often a team effort. So it's very difficult quite often to follow by yourself all the time. And if the other tell you where that animal hasn't gone, which is quite important for finding them, just to see if I can see these birds again. There we go. Very, very, I like them. I like these birds quite a lot. Let's see if anyone can ID them for us. I know the light's a bit dark. Oh, and off they go. It might be a bit difficult to ID them, so I'm going to show you what they were in the book. We get two of that family here. Those ones are the ones we don't see quite as often as the others. Standing by. Copy, Orbs, thanks very much, well done. I don't remember, but I'm sure there's that quite a big Entlela, that old two-track that goes off Weaver's Nest to the east. Is it on that Entlela? Copy, thanks very much, Orbs, well done. I'm going to be joining you shortly. Okay, so it's number 5. So Rets, the old name is a red-billed helmet shrike. We see the white crowned, that one there, quite regularly, but we don't see the reds as often. Alright, so Aubrey, you asked us to go look on the eastern side of this block for those leopard tracks. He's walked into the block and he's managed to find the leopard. From what I'm hearing at the moment, a lot of our long-time viewers will be quite happy. It's Karula, and it sounds like she's on a kill. So we're very, very close, so we're going to go have a look. And I think I owe Aubrey a beer. So we drove through here this morning and her tracks were heading in this general direction, but then she went into this block to our right here. There's very noisy birds. Just want to double check. Big bird party around here. If you just keep a close look out. They are alarming. They could be alarming at a mongoose. No, I just think they're full with the joy of morning. Now I can see where Aubrey was walking and looking for the leopard here. Aubrey going. Bobby, thanks, I've got you. Okay, so we're here and I can see Karula up in the tree to our right. Looks like she's got quite a, I'm not sure what she's got, she's killed there, but we'll update you shortly. Like it could get darker. Let's see which is going to be the best spot to get a view of her. Looks like she's napping. Now it looks like she's got a male darker. We'll just stop here quickly just to have a quick look and assess, and then we'll move around so we can see her face. And it looks like she's very comfortable. Oops, it's Karula. So it is Karula. And then just off to the right of her, there's the remains of the duiker. She looks very, very comfortable. We're just going to move around next to Aubrey where we can see her face. Or maybe just stand by her for a little bit and try to decide. I don't think she looks far too comfortable. I think we're going to have to reposition. Okay, what we're just doing now is also a single hyena sleeping on the ground near him as well. We'll have a look off to the left here. You'll just see this belly sticking out of the grass, and there's the hyena. when weer. Let's get past that one little leaf.
Okay, wait.
There we go. And you can see she's got a nice big fat belly. Doesn't look like there's too much left of the duiker. Andrew, you copy? Oh, he's been talking on the wrong radio. I confirm we copy you now. Copy, thanks. So it looks like she has very little of the duiker kill left, and she's eaten most of it. And when was the last time we saw Karula? Oh, it was that night when she got chased by the hyenas. Was that 2 nights ago? Three nights ago, maybe. She's actually not very far from the area where I last saw her.
Did your bino rinse?
Sorry?
Do you have your binos?
No, they are actually in the joke. I used this.
Mine has been taken out the car for some reason.
And you don't see leopards much more comfortable than that. It's also nice and cool, so her breathing's not laboured. So if it was very hot now, even if she was lying in the tree, you would notice she'd be panting quite heavily, because digesting takes energy.
So guys, take the picture as you can. We're gonna go, look some lives.
So, can you get a shot of the duiker's head there, Fam? I can't really see it there, but it is a male duiker. I can see the horns from where I am, but I'm a bit lower than VM. It doesn't look like there's too much left, but there is enough left that she's probably not going to move for the rest of the day. Maybe she might head off to Treehouse Dam for a drink, and that would be about it. Oh, she actually opened her eyes. And the hyena might have moved behind us. That would have caused her to lift her head. I can't see, unfortunately, but as you can see, she's not very perturbed.
Yeah, cricket commentator.
Yeah, the hyena has stood up and is moving. That is why she lifted her head and looked. I can just see the hyena now. Possible. I can't see it. It's coming this way. It's gone behind. No, not coming this way yet. Remember, guys, if you have any questions for us, send them into questions at WildEarthTV, or just use the hashtag Safari Live on Twitter.
How's the light your still camera?
It's good.
A clear shot.
Yeah. Just got to play with the settings, but.
What sort of time exposure?
Good morning, Ruthie from Michigan. Welcome on Drive With Us this morning. Ruthie would like to know, do we know if Karula is pregnant? Ruthie, at the moment it's a little bit difficult to tell, especially since she's got such a full belly. But it is possible, but I'm not going to stake my reputation on it just yet. We'll have to wait a little bit longer to see if she is pregnant.
Confirm close to Weaver's Nest Road. Okay, just give me 3 minutes, I'll be out for you.
It looks like she's chosen a really comfortable tree.
Alright guys,
Go, Craig. Aubrey's busy making his way out of the sighting. Four. Craig's looking for you. Hey, I'm fit. Yeah, fun man. Enjoy the rest of your drive, guys. It would be. Wasn't me. I wasn't. It was a while ago. The sighting's on the road that's between Chelepan Road and Elephant Skull. Probably about 150 meters east from Weaver's Nest Elephant Skull Junction, and then probably 150 meters into the block to the almost directly to the east. Morning, morning.
Hello. Now we open the eyes.
Yeah. Now he does.
I'll let you know when I get your audio.
Excited that I can hear you. Kuan Tilofa.
So as you can see, there's a male duiker that she killed, but she looks like she's eaten the vast majority of it.
It looks so comfortable, this tree. I also want to lie there.
Ryan, I think he's just driven past us. Aubrey's coming out of the block right now, so you'll see where he comes out. It's amazing how still these animals can be when they've got a full belly and a comfortable branch to lie on. There's almost zero movement. Standing by, Lex.
Oh, but that Tilofa, I think it's only the legs left, huh?
Yeah, and the head.
They don't eat it?
They will eat it.
It's about 150 meters east into the block from Weaver's Nest Junction with Elephant Skull.
But even
There's an old 2-track nearby that from a previous leopard kill in the area. Best access is on that, but I will drop a branch when I leave.
They pluck off.
the fur
Not all of it. Yeah. Pluck it off.
and the antelope and the kudu, they have also this.
Copy, thanks very much, Lex.
They don't eat it.
Yeah, that one.
What is that? Well, I feel like they use.
Yes.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, there's nothing.
There is nothing just waste.
No, it's not there. Wow, look at his eyes. He's looking at us.
Good morning, Katrina from Washington State. Welcome on Drive with us this morning. Katrina would like to know, when leopards are mating, do they share kills? They can do, Katrina. It isn't that common. Generally when they're mating, they mate. But if they do make a kill, they will sometimes share it. But generally the male will take the lion's share and the female will eat a lot less. And male leopards will often steal kills from females.
A lot of time, plant trees. See where she always plant right up there. So you can see the trees. The bark has been off.
Yeah.
That's where she go down and up, down and up.
This is a hard one. took the antelope to the... How it took the antelope up to the tree.
Bite it from the mouth.
Changing position.
But how big it was big?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to move slightly so we can have a good look at the kill. I know some people have been asking to get a view of the kill, so I'm just going to move around slightly so we can get a good view of the carcass. Good, thanks, how are you on? So here you can see it's a male duiker. You can just see the horns there. There's very little, from what I can see, of the carcass left. And just look at how big her belly is. There might still be a little bit that I can't really see just from where it's lying. But I don't think it's going to be based here for a day or two. I think probably this evening she'll move on again.
Like they read only about the food, not the sex. He won't attack them. Yeah?
Yeah.
The leopard looks much stronger than the hyena.
Jackson coming.
A lot.
Oh, what's your position for? Okay, keep coming. I'll make space for you. I'll come back here later. So guys, there's quite a lot of vehicles who would like to come see Karula this morning. So what we're going to do is we're going to move out, and we will let the other cars come in, and then we'll come back here later in the drive once there's not as many people around. So great start to the morning. That's affirmative. So, goodbye, Madam Karula. We'll see you a little later. That's a nice way to start the morning. I didn't even have to do any chopping. So as I know you hear all of us say how important it is to share the sightings and that, and it is very important. It's also, whoa, there's a big stuff in there that you can see. In terms of finding the animals, if we work together, all of us have a much better chance of finding the animals. So, this is a bush signpost, but for those of you who would like to, see if you can identify, the hint is, you look at the leaves, they're very, very distinct, but the main reason of this is how we sign things in the bush. Vim will show you one now. That's a whole tree, but I'm just going to pop this on the road so everyone knows where to find Karula. For the new viewers, let me just give you a little bit of history about Karula. She is the dominant female leopard that we see the most on Djuma. I know a lot of people out there quite often refer to her as the Queen of Djuma. So she holds territory over the majority of Djuma. So she is the female leopard we see the most often. Looks like Aubrey was ahead of me, dropping a branch. And it was also the same type of branch, so I'm just going to drop on top of Aubrey's. And let's go see what else we can find. They did check the hyena den sites earlier, they weren't active, but we can go have another look now. So for those of you who want to ID that tree, here's a, there's a car coming, let me just get off the road quickly. You see, there's a little stand of them growing there. Send your answers to questions@WildEarthTV or just use the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. Just down the road, you'll see there's a pterocarpus in the road. She's close as well. Okay guys, let's carry on. Go check the hyena dens, have a look what else we can find, and then once the stations of other vehicles have moved through where Karula is, we can always go back later in the morning and have another squiz. So I also believe we've reached 150 bird species on live drives. So I'm definitely going to try find you some more so we can try and push that species list up. Not really warming up this morning, it's still quite chilly. So Scott was telling me that the last hyenas he saw were at the Philemon's dip den site, not at the other den site we've been going to quite frequently. So we'll check both. Let's have a look at this one first. And then if there's no activity here, we will check the other one. Sometimes you might find that there'll be more than one den site active at the same time, especially when there are multiple litters. Not seeing any hyenas, unfortunately. Let's just have a quick look. So, but you can definitely see that this is an active den site at the moment. And if those of you who watch a lot of drives remember the last time I came here, we could see that there was visibly no tracks and stuff. And if you go closer on the mouth of there. You can actually see that the soil's been scuffed. I can even see tracks from here. So this is definitely an active den site. Unfortunately, the youngsters without mom, and it's quite chilly this morning, are probably snuggled together underground. So we'll continue on. We'll still double check the other den sites. You never know, they might both be active, but there's a strong possibility they have moved den sites due to fleas. Is probably one of the biggest reasons for moving a den site. Fleas and predator pressure, and I don't think there's been any lion pressure on the other den site. I think the main reason they've moved probably is because of the fleas. Well done, Sharon from Austria and Georgina in Illinois. Round leaf teak was the name of the tree that we used to mark where Karula was. Well done. And Katrina. Well done, Katrina. Interesting thing about round leaf teak, where there are a lot of ellies, they never really get very big. They stay in those small bushy is that the elephants sort of maintain them and keep them small and growing because they're very much one of an elephant's favorite foods. Good morning, Donna from Maine. Donna would like to know whether there's protection under our vehicles to help with the branches and sticks. Yes, Donna. Well, most of these 4x4s that you use on safaris have quite a thick plate underneath the vehicle that protects a lot of the working parts from a stick or stump going up into it. Come on, sun, fight your way through. We're getting a tiny bit of blue sky coming through the clouds, but unfortunately this overcast weather does look like it's quite set. As I said, it's good for the cats to move. Oh, I know the light's terrible. There we go. Nice film. But a very pretty bird. So I know a lot of you guys out there know this bird. Quick. But I'm gonna try something different. So all our expert regulars, I'm gonna ask you to give the new guys a chance to get their answers in first. So give them a sort of a 3-minute window to try to get their answers in first before you guys get in there, because I know this is an easy one for a lot of you out there. So send your answers to questions@WildEarthTV or use the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. What bird was that? I think we're going to have another view, which might be a little bit of a better view now. The light is quite difficult this morning with the very grey cloud everywhere. But here's another view. It could be a bit of a better view. And you'll be able to see one of the diagnostics of its name. So there we go, guys. What bird is that? Send your answers to questions@wildearth.tv or use the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. Charlie, Robin, Rem, Leonard all got it right. It is a lilac-breasted roller. Well done, guys. And the first person in was Charlie. Well done, Charlie. Other than in Karula, a white male Inyala and a couple of buffalo bulls and a squirrel, it's been quite quiet on the mammalian front this morning. Oh, and the one hyena that was sleeping, waiting for Karula to possibly drop some tidbits from that kill. Coming. Negative, a bit longer than that. So, just an update from over the radio about the Nkahuma Pride. They were moving south towards our northern boundary earlier this morning. They've now stopped about 1 kilometer from our boundary and are lying up. Hopefully, if this cool weather continues, they'll move a bit later on in the morning, and hopefully they come visit us. We haven't seen them for a while. Hello. Is that Impala Ram? Even he's got a following of flies. Incredibly adaptable animals. That's one of the reasons why they're so successful. They're able to both browse and graze. And so they can eat grass and leaves, so they don't confine themselves to one or the other, which has enabled them to be the most numerous antelope in Africa overall, through all their range. Go back a bit. You can see how his looks a bit darker there. It's basically fluffed up his coat. We're going to be seeing a lot more of that as the dry season and colder months come. So what they do is they extend their hair on their body, and then the air gets trapped between their body and their hair follicles, and it creates somewhat like an insulative blanket around them to keep them warm. You can see the next little guy is very, very fluffy this morning. Oh, there's another one on his way. Not so fluffy, this guy. Not as cold as the other two. So we're just going to quickly check that the other hyena den site. You never know. So last night's cold, windy weather was quite good for hunting if you're a leopard. That gusty wind makes it more difficult for the prey species to hear the leopard approaching, or even to smell it. And the dark with no moonlight makes it more difficult for them to see as well. Hyenas, interestingly enough, I actually see, what do I see there? Are my eyes playing tricks on me there, I think they are. It's just a sand clod. So hyenas are unfortunately not active as well, but quite interestingly, hyenas often share their den sites with porcupines, believe it or not. And they'll actually stay in the same den but use different entrances and exits. Although I have seen it once before where they've used the same entrance and exit. No, actually, sorry, not once. I've seen it a couple of times. But normally they'll try use different entrances and exits, or try use it at different times. So when the hyenas are in a different den, the porcupines might make use of this den more often. But it's not uncommon for them to share it at the same time. This is a tree I don't think I've done with you guys before. It's got compound leaves. They're very, very soft if you touch them. I'm going to throw it out there just in case someone might know it. So you can tell me what tree this is. Send your answers to questions at WildEarthTV, or you use the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. I'm going to reverse a little bit so everyone can get a nice wide shot of it. And I'll keep. So there we go, just so you can have a better look at it. So the leaves are very, very soft. The leaf structure looks very similar to an acacia, but it is not an acacia. So it is not a thorn tree. There are no thorn trees, and the leaves are very soft. Last I heard, I think Lex left them lying up at rubbing post down. I don't drive this road very often, but every time I do, I always love the vista you get from it. So you're right on the high ground here, and you've got these two little drainage lines down between you. Miles and miles of Africa.